What up, though? Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Notoriously Opinionated. It's your man. Uh, First off, on Notoriously Opinionated, we're gonna talk about uh the surfaces, right? It ain't gonna make no sense to you right now, but it's gonna make sense to you in a minute. Uh, and then we're gonna talk about the flow. So this is surface and flow, right? Instead of hustle and flow, it's surface and flow. Kind of means something really oddly similar, right? Um, a little bit later on in the show, we're gonna talk about something that we all need. We all need motivation. We all need an understanding of what to do when life throws everything at us, right? And then we're gonna get into some what ifs, right? Not some what ifs. We're gonna get into what if, right? It's your man Solo by itself. You know what I'm saying? It's me. I'm Dolo tonight, and I like it. I like it a lot. You know, so I'm it's just some things I want to rap with y'all about tonight, man. And so we're gonna kick it off with talking about this talking about these surfaces. So for real, this is really all about what I really want to talk about tonight was the whether you want to call it services. People say that life will throw all kind of things at you. It'll throw you a curveball, a slider, a fastball. It'll do all these different things. It'll have you walking on hard surfaces, on hot surfaces, on wet surfaces, on slick surfaces, right? And the trick about life is being able to walk on all of the surfaces, you know. So if you can walk on a lot of different surfaces, so I liken this unto like a football player, right? I liken this unto a football player. Like a football player has to know what cleats to bring for any given game, for a particular game. So if you bring the wrong cleats, you're gonna be sliding, or if you bring the wrong cleats, you're gonna fall, or if you bring the wrong cleats, you're just not gonna be able to perform at your highest potential, right? But if you know how to walk and run on all different kind of surfaces, you're gonna go a whole lot further, a whole lot faster, right? Versus only knowing how to handle one kind of surface. You know, you got people, that are really good, you know, in a crisis, but can't handle uh being told, being corrected. You know what I'm saying? Good in the crisis, can't handle being corrected. And you got people that's vice versa. You got people that can stand being corrected but suck in a crisis, you know. Uh so and the thing is, it's okay to be lost. That's what, especially men, you know, especially men, like, we don't know a lot of times that it's okay to be lost. It's okay not to have all the answers. It's okay not to that's one of my things. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about me right now. I be having to tell myself all the time it's okay that I don't have all the answers for everybody all the time, you know, uh, because I used to feel like it's okay not to know, right? Uh, and I do. I feel like it's okay not to know. Like there's a difference between ignorance and stupidity, you know. Uh, and ignorance is just a lack of knowledge. Stupidity is when you actually know and still do stupid shit. You know, you you know that it's uh you know that there's a hole in this street, right? And yet you still walk down that street and fall in that hole. And then you come back the next day and you know it's a hole in the middle of the street and you still walk down the street and fall in the hole. And then the third day you come back and you keep following the same process. That's insanity. That's stupidity. That's the definition of stupidity. So um but it's okay to be lost, because you just you are discovering you're discovering a version of yourself that that hasn't manifested itself into this life before, right? So if you discovered something new about yourself before you made that discovery, before you had that aha moment, um you may have felt lost, right? And that kind of flows into the flow, right? So if you've ever heard the term, some of you may have never heard the term, flow, right? Uh, Outside of rappers, but you may have never heard the term flow, right? But there's a science to flow. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got it all figured out, neither do I. But I know when I'm in it, right? I know when I'm flowing, right? And what I mean by flow, some of you will know it as just being in the zone, like locked in completely, like you're in the zone. You're feeling that flow, right? I was actually in that flow today. I'm at work and I'm up and I got all kind of materials that I need to put away, right? I got a bunch of supplies that go into some programs that I'm running, and I need space, and so I'm thinking about all the different places and all the different spaces that I'm gonna put all my supplies and whatnot. And so I'm up and I'm moving around and I'm talking and I'm moving. I'm talking and I'm organizing. Laid everything out, and I'm like, okay, this is trash. I can keep this. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna label this, and this, and I'm gonna do that, and that. Then I'm gonna put this away, and I'm gonna clean that out, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. And I was just flowing. I wasn't thinking. I was just flowing. I was in a zone, right? If you played sports, you've experienced flow. Any sport that you played that you like, I'm unstoppable. I can't be stopped. I can't miss. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is. Like I've been in flow in baseball, in softball, in basketball. Basketball, when you in the zone, the goal looks like it's 5 feet 5 feet in circumference. Like the goal is just so big. The ball is just so big, that you can't help but to hit it. The field is just so wide and everybody else is just so slow. You just can't help but to rack up all the yards. That's flow, right? But the other reason why it's okay to be lost before you get into that flow, before you get into that zone, because everybody got to be lost before they found. You have to you can't be found until you're lost. So that's kind of the the whole surface and flow thing. You have to be able to learn that trick of life, learn how to skate and walk and run on all these surfaces. And once you learn how to do that, you done tackled a serious part of life, and once you learn how to tap into your flow, then you've learned how to take yourself out of a sense or a state of mundaneness, right? A sense or a state of boredom even, and create a flow within yourself to where you lock in, you in a zone, time becomes nothing. Time goes away, and next thing you know, you locked in. And if you're doing something productive, you know, you come away with you come away with um, a feeling of accomplishment. You know, so I've really come to realize that life will throw everything at you, and it's how you respond to it. And trust me, I do not have all the answers. I have my notorious opinion, and that's about it. You dig? But I do know that there are a lot of things that have helped me in my search, in my journey through this life, you know. And like I said, these are just some of the opinions that I want to share with you. Um, the foundation of it, a lot of times for me, is and you hear it all the time. You self-care. You know what I'm saying? Self-care. You have to have self-care. You know what I'm saying? Like, the better you treat yourself, the better you can treat others. You can't fill any other cup if your cup is not full, right? And uh that is absolutely crucial for you to be able to take care of you, because nobody should even expect you to be able to take care of anyone else if you are not taken care of first. How you gonna take care of somebody else? You can't take care of yourself. You know, if you're a dependent, if you're a dependent in your own existence, how are you gonna how are you gonna independently help somebody else? It's just not feasible, you know. So I am a proponent of good sleep, right? That's one of the ways. Good sleep. Good sleep don't necessarily mean sleeping a long time. Like, I can sleep for 4 or 5 hours, and if it's good sleep, oh, I'm good. I'm up. I'm energized. You know what I'm saying? I can get to it, you know. And then I can sleep for 10 hours. I can't sleep for 10 hours. Not right now. I could sleep for 8. Like, I could sleep for a solid 8 hours. I gotta be, and when I say exhausted, I gotta be exhausted to sleep for 9, 10 hours. I mean, exhausted. I gotta be exhausted because I can't lay down that long. Eating healthy and working out. Eating healthy and exercise, man, like, I feel a difference in how I think since I again began eating healthy and exercising again, you know. And that is another key component, you know. Eating healthy and exercising is key to helping keep your mental sharp, you know. That's part of the foundation. Another thing that I've always found, like, it was an old saying that says, when you down, move around, feeling great, meditate. You know, you want to move when you feeling down. You don't really want to stay stagnant. You don't really want to stay in one place when you're not feeling up, right? When you feeling up, you can find that center. When you're not feeling up, you gotta move around. You know, you gotta move around and find something that's gonna motivate you and cause that flow. You know, so meditation has always been a good thing for me, just to get that center within myself and just become one with my own being, you know. And that helped me a lot. Next, and this is just important. It just is. You know what I'm saying? Uh Having healthy, positive relationships. Man, so in all reality, uh I thought about, having guests tonight, uh, but because the idea just kind of happened yesterday, I want to give this topic a little bit more time to breathe before I had guests on here talking about it. But we're gonna talk about relationships in one of these upcoming live episodes of Notoriously Opinionated. We're gonna talk about relationships uh, because I run into a lot of dudes that are having, when I say the same problem, I'm not playing. The same it's like, bro, my girl XYZ, blah 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 blah. Bro, my girl XYZ, blah blah blah. Man, my girl, it's the same damn problem. It's like, it's crazy. And so I'm gonna have to have that conversation, and it's gonna be wild, right? It's gonna be a wild conversation. But other than that, like, you gotta look at the relationships and the positive relationships that you have in your life, right? If you don't have positive relationships in your life, whether they come from your your circle of homeboys, if they don't come, if it, wherever this positive thing comes from, really, what more? You gotta have that positive circle of somebody, or that it don't even gotta be a circle. You just gotta have that positive somebody, that one positive somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was watching this one video and it was saying, it was talking about these 5 kinds of friends that you have, right? Oh, nah, I'm not even saying. So let me backtrack a little bit, right? Let me backtrack a little bit. My homie asked, is it the girl or the wrong approach? Right? I'm not saying this the girl. My point then was, a lot of the fellas is having the exact same problem with they women, and I'm not saying it's nobody's fault. Hell, it might be all us that's fucked up. I don't know. I just know that people gotta pick they poison. You know what I'm saying? And really understand why you're even in a relationship to begin with. Like, hey man, I don't know if it's in the water, if it's in the food, if it's in the DNA. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I have an idea, you know what I'm saying? Because when you have relationships that were built within a certain set of circumstances, regardless of what that set of circumstances is, right? You have to make sure that you know what you're getting into. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that when you look across at this person, you looking at somebody that you want to be with for the right reasons, because it's a lot of times for the wrong reasons that that people end up with somebody. Like, from the fella's perspective, I'm like this, right? We'll see the girl and fall in love with the dimple, right? And not realize that when we take her on as our woman, or we take her on as our wife, that we marrying the whole woman. We not just marrying the dimple. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that's another thing I'm gonna get into, man. BBL or natural. You know what I'm saying? Like BBL or natural. That's something I wanna. That's gonna be one of the topics that I ask when when we have a group discussion, when it's all fellas. It won't be any women in that particular panel, unless they want to explain why they get the BBL. So I might, you know what I'm saying? It's possible now that I think about it, because I'm curious, because I've heard different women say different things about why they get them, but when it comes to these relationships, right? That yeah, I mean, and that can happen too, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you can still fall in love with how a person treats you, but for real, that particular segment wasn't even just talking about women. It was just talking about having positive relationships, whether it's a positive relationship with a family member, with a brother, a cousin, a sister, or your homeboys, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or with your woman, so it's just about having those and building those positive relationships, because we all need to surround ourselves with positive people. I was talking to one of my partners today, and he was like, man, I had to let one of, now he didn't say he let him go, but he's like, man, I had to fall back from one of the fellas, man, because I said that in 2024, man, I'm surrounding myself with positivity, and he's too negative. I can't do, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's just entirely too negative. I gotta have a circle of positivity. I gotta have a circle of positive influence. It's enough negative influence in this world, especially in this city, especially in Kansas City. It's enough negativity in this city just to last a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, having a safe circle is where it's at. Nah, real talk. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? But I want to know why a lot of women choose to be inauthentic. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is learning all of the things that could happen during one of these surgeries, like, why would they still want to get it? No, real talk. Hold up. I gotta put that up. No, I gotta put that up. The homie said, if people do not reflect the same frequency, there is no seat at the table. You know what I'm saying? So the ancestor Malcolm X said it really, really well. It's like, I don't have a seat at the table if we not all eating the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we not eating the same thing, then I'm not really a diner. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all at this table, but I'm not really a diner if we're not eating the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And so if I'm positive and people sitting at my table is negative, and my table, meaning my circle, is negative, or they're just not on the same wavelength as I am, then they're really not a diner. You say you mess with people that, hold on, but even in any relationship, I mess with people that treat me correctly. Okay, yeah, and that's That's the goal, is to mess with people that to mess with people. Now, whether messing with people means your partners, your girl, whatever it is, messing with people that support you, messing with people that have your best interest at heart, messing with people that want the best for you. Like how people respond how people respond to you when you say you need to do something that's best for you. You know what I'm saying? That when you say you need to do something because it's your purpose, when you say you doing something because you respect what this inner voice in you is saying, when you saying you got to do what you feel is right in your spirit and your soul for you, watch what their reaction is. You know what I'm saying? Watch what their reaction is. Now, I don't care who it is. You know what I'm saying? Your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your homeboys, your woman, your wife, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you say, hey, I'm doing this because it's best for me, and I can't be the best for you if I'm not first the best for me. I can't be the best version of me for you if I'm not the best version of me for me. So I got to be the best version of me for me first before I can ever give you what you need. You did? So you got to look at your circle of friends. You got to look at your household. You got to look at all that. And if you don't feel inspired by what you see, do you got a circle for real? Like, do you really got a circle? Nah, real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm eating steak and you stay talking about McDonald's, we not on the same level. Real talk. Yeah. Right. So I try to nourish who I can. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's like old sayings go, you know what I'm saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can lead a fool to knowledge, but you can't make them think. So I just be trying to live my ideal life, you know what I'm saying, and take all the steps needed to be able to do that. And I'm just starting to develop a whole a better way of challenging this negativity. You know what I'm saying? You have to challenge this negativity, and I think that does impart, like, there's parts to it. Learning all these surfaces and learning how to walk and run, and sometimes slide. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can have a controlled slide, right? Learn these surfaces, learn this flow, learn how to create your own flow and create your own method of how to get in the goddamn zone. You know what I'm saying? After that, you gotta have positive people in your circle. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have those positive relationships. Surround yourself with positive and supportive people, like my cousin said. You know what I'm saying? People that respect you and love you and support you. You have to surround yourself with people like that. People that's gonna uplift you and not push you down, right? People that's gonna lift you up and not push you down, because these is the strong connections we need, right? And there's the flip side. The flip side is you might not have nobody in your life like that. You might not have nobody in your life that's gonna uplift you. You might not have nobody in your house, in your household, or in your life, or a relationship that you have that you can turn to somebody that's gonna lift you up. You know, somebody that's gonna support you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's gonna respect you and love you. So you know what you gotta do at that time? Say fuck humble. Say fuck humble. And build yourself up. Tell yourself you the shit. Tell yourself you great. Tell yourself you a king. You know, you got to tell all this stuff to yourself. If you ain't got nobody else to tell it to you, who else is going to tell it to you? If I don't believe it for me, I can't expect nobody else to believe it for me. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe it my goddamn self. So how am I going to expect somebody else to build me up? You know? And so if nobody else is around, look, I used to tell people all the time, you know what I'm saying? In different situations in my life, I used to tell people all the time, whatever it is that you're going to do, when Scrap's not around, do that right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's the approach that you take in this type of situation. You know what I'm saying? If there's nobody in your life that's going to build you up, you got to build yourself up. You got to say, fuck humble. I'm going to tell myself I'm the shit. And believe it. You say it till you believe it. Real talk. Real talk. Sometimes it's just you and God. Sometimes it's just you and the God within you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what, I don't know how people feel like, you know what I'm saying, God is not doing all this stuff within them, you know what I'm saying, and why you not a God with a small G, you know what I'm saying, like, what, it's your internal intelligence, you know what I'm saying, so, you say it till you believe it, you say it till you achieve it, you know what I'm saying, you can't achieve nothing that you don't believe your goddamn self, you know, so, and at the same time, while you doing all these things, you got to challenge them. You got to challenge all these negative thoughts that you bound to have at one point in time, you know, because you looking at your surroundings, especially if you in that situation where you don't have nobody that's going to support you. You don't have nobody that's going to lift you up. You don't have nobody that's going to encourage you. And so you got to encourage yourself. You have to challenge these negative thoughts like, man, how fucked up am I? I don't have nobody that's support. Man, listen, it goes without saying that, you know, a lot of times you'll find yourself alone, and that's the best place to be. Man, I'm telling you, it's been times where I have been by myself and have never had more peace. The most peaceful time I had in my life, I was by myself all alone. Nobody to deal with but me and my demons. Real talk. Nah, real talk. Let me put that up. So that is the law of attraction. What the homie is talking about right here is a translation of the law of attraction. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will attract that which you are. You know what I'm saying? You will absolutely attract that which you are. You will gravitate towards certain things. Things will gravitate towards you, and you won't even understand why. You dig? That's the law of attraction. You know, that's the true law of attraction. You know, you will have come to you what you are, you know. So yeah. But practice recognizing negativity. Practice recognizing those negative thoughts in your head, you know. This is what I tell myself. I got, like, I know what I'll be about to say before I say it. You know what I'm saying? And I have the opportunity to make the choice of whether to say it or not, whether to do it or not. And it's, it more often than not, it is a lack of self-restraint, a lack of self-control that causes you to say or do some of the things that you say or do.
I'm having trouble hearing.
So
Can you say that again?
ain't nobody talking to you. Modern technology, I swear. But the main thing that we all have to do, I ain't gonna say we have to do it, that I believe we should do. You know what I'm saying? It's things that I don't tell people, man, you can't do that. Man, you can't. Yeah, I really can. Now, whether I should do that or not is a whole different can of wax. You know what I'm saying? Like my homie whose comment I just put on, he used to tell me all the time, man, what I should and shouldn't do. But people knew better than to tell me what I can and can't do. Because yeah, I can. And yeah, I will. Because there's a such thing as bad decisions and bad choices. And there's a thing as good decisions and good choices. And so when I would listen to the right people, I would make better choices. When I didn't listen to the right people, I wouldn't make good choices. I mean, and it was just as simple as that. You know what I mean? So I had to learn within myself, just as a growing being of light, that there are negative thoughts that enter your mind, right? And you got to learn how to notice those negative thoughts, and then you got to know what to do with them. You got to shift that energy. But practice recognizing those negative thoughts. Practice recognizing negative people. You dig? That takes practice too. Practice recognizing negative people. Practice understanding when there's no, that energy is off. Your energy's not right. And then calmly, politely, respectfully remove yourself from that particular presence. That's all it takes. You know what I'm saying? Cause I know too many of my partners, man, that the stress of this life, the adversity of this life was just too much for them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it can get rough. It really can get rough. Because I know what it's like to not feel like you care whether you live or die. I know what that's like. And so it can get real crucial sometimes. I think lastly, man, you got to focus on what you know you can control. You know what I'm saying? You got to focus. So this is a thing I learned some years ago when I was studying conflict resolution, right? And it was saying, it was talking about circles of influence. You know what I'm saying? It was talking about circles of influence. And, you have complete control of what you think. You have complete control of that. You have complete control of what you do. And you have absolutely no control over what somebody else thinks and what somebody else does. So this circle over here, you have no control over. This circle over here, you have complete control over, right? The problem comes when, you over here, where's the circle? You over here, right? In a circle of control, right? And you are outside of your circle of control. Then you get mad when you can't control this over here, when you need it to stay your butt over here, right? But once you understand the game, you play it better. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you understand the game, you play it better. You know, and a lot of times we just don't understand the game, and we focus on things that we can't control, and then we get upset when those things don't go our way. But we never had control of it to begin with. You know. Can't control everything. You cannot, right? But and keep this in mind. I'm talking to the cats who's cut from the same material I am, or at least similar material. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean no goddamn cloth neither. I'm not cut from cloth. I'm cut from steel. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't cut the same way I'm cut. I'm cut from steel. You did. This tongue, cut from steel. And it'll slice your ass the fuck up. Piss me off. I don't have to put a finger on you. You know what I'm saying? I will cut you with my tongue so short, I'll cut you in rivets. Cut you smooth in half. And have you going crying to somebody that gives a fuck about you. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't, it ain't no particular cloth I was cut from. I was cut, they had to use lasers to cut me out. Everybody ain't cut from the same shit I'm cut from. You dig? Motherfuckers is cut from bubblegum wrappers and shit. You know, I ain't cut like that. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on a battlefield. Believe that. So let's shift gears. So what if, it's just to hit a lighter topic before I bounce, right? What if, and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit more in depth in the future, but I keep hearing this, man, and it kind of ties into what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because normally my what if goes all the way left. Normally my what if is about the Chiefs. I'm keeping the buck with you. Like, normally my what if, when I get to the end of the podcast, my what if is like last week's what if was like, what if the Kansas City Chiefs got Justin Jefferson and who would I say? I forget. But what's up, Lil Joe? What it do, my dude? What if the Kansas City Chiefs picked up Justin Jefferson? That was my what if last year. It was Justin Jefferson and DeAndre Hopkins. That's who it was. That was my what if last week. So my what if this week, if it was on a light, fluffy topic like the Chiefs, it would be something I seen today. Like, what if the Chiefs picked up Odell Beckham? Like, they already got Hollywood Brown. What if the Chiefs picked up Odell Beckham and paid him $12 million for this 1 year? What do you think would happen? And what if the Chiefs traded one of the best corners in the league for a high number 1 draft pick? What if? That ain't what my what if is, though. We'll talk about that later. That ain't what my what if is this week. My what if this week is this. What if you took 6 months to work on you? Cut everything out. Cut everybody out. What if you took 6 months to work on you? I be seeing that shit on Facebook all the time. What if you took 6 months to work up? No, for real. No, for real. What if you took 6 months to work on you? What if you took 6 months to put you first and worked on yourself? Where would you be in 6 months? Like, you grinded. You got into that flow. What if you found a 6-month flow to where you was in the zone for you for 6 months straight? Would your diet be better? Would your health be better? Would your mental dexterity be better? Would your body be better? Would your career be better? Would your relationships be better? Like, would you be better? What if? What would you do in them 6 months to make things better? What if? What if you took 6 months to work on you? Yep. Think about it. All right. This has been another episode of Notoriously Opinionated, man. This has been your man, Scrapadocious, the man of many names and monikers. And I promise, one of these days, I'm going to go through all my names, because it's some names I got my cousin don't even know. Like, he wasn't even around when dudes, like, I'm going to give you a brief. So people took my, and when I say my original nickname, Scrap wasn't even my first nickname. My first nickname was worse than Scrap. Like, and we ain't even talking about my first nickname was my family nickname. Oh, it was terrible. Oh my goodness. Like, my first nickname my family gave me, right? You should never give a child a nickname like what they gave. Then I got my first nickname. Right? Yeah. I was out the porch. I was out the porch a little earlier than I should have been. Hey, man, I was off the porch a little bit. Hey, that reminds me of a poem that me and my coworker was talking about today. So, it's a poem called Stevie. It's a poem by Stevie Smith called "Not Waving but Drowning." I don't know if I remember it word for word, but I just might. But it goes, and I'm trying to recite it, or as much of it as I can real quick. Nobody knew him, the dead man, but still he lay moaning. He was much too far out, not waving, but drowning. Poor chap. He always loved larking. That means playing around, you know what I'm saying? Frolicking. And now he's dead. It must have been too cold for him. His heart gave way, they said. No. It was too cold always. But still the dead one lay moaning. I was too far out my whole life. And not waving, but drowning. God damn it. Hey, man, that's how I felt. Like, I've been out there my whole life. I've been in the middle of the motherfucking Pacific my whole goddamn life. And motherfuckers see me doing like this. And motherfuckers is looking at me and they like, what's up? Why are you waving at us? What's up? Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? Motherfucker, I ain't waving at you. I'm drowning. You dig? I'm drowning. Better go back. Fuck humble. I'm the shit. I can get myself out of this. That's what I always told myself. That's what I've always tell myself. I'm the shit. I get out of it. I'll figure it out. That's what's happening. So, But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna tell everybody my nicknames one of these days. You know what I'm saying? People would take the street nickname that I ended up getting, or technically the second street name I ended up getting. The more popular, Scrap is the more popular name that I ended up getting from older homeboys, right? And people start just doing spinoffs of that name. Like, I used to rap, so my partner E started calling me Rap Dog, right? Rap Dog was sticking to some people. It's like, man, Rap Dog, my name ain't no rap. Took the S and the C off. You know? Anyway, so like I said, that's why I say I'm the man of many names and monikers, because, you know what I'm saying, depending on what part of my life you called me in, depending on what they was calling me. But it's gonna be a lot of things we get into in future episodes, Notoriously Opinionated. Like I said, in the future, I don't know whether I'm gonna do 1 live show a month or 2 live shows a month. I am now leaning towards 2, 1 at the beginning of the month and 1 at the end of the month. No, 1 at the I just thought about that. No, 1 at the beginning, like the first and the third weeks of the month is what I'm thinking. The first and the third week of the month is when I'm thinking about doing my live episodes, and then the second and the fourth week of the month is going to be pre-recorded, or vice versa. I might do 2 and 4 as being the live, and 1 and 3 being pre-recorded. I don't know yet. I haven't figured all that out yet. Yeah, but you'll know what'll happen. All right. Until then, tune in to Notoriously Opinionated every Wednesday, whether it's pre-recorded or live. Tune in to Notoriously Opinionated every Wednesday, man. Like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel Notoriously Opinionated if you like this content, right? Until then, it's been your man. I'm out. Peace.